Hallo und willkommen! Ich bin Meister Lenzi and this is Tori from ILikeBigBugs and you're watching Get Germanized Dating Germany versus USA.
I am bored. What should I do?
Ah, ich weiß.
Get Germanized. So I have done this video before, a similar video with my friend Hannah Montgomery from the UK. So if you're interested in what dating is like in England versus Germany, check that video out for sure.
It was good. I watched it.
It was very interesting for sure. So there might be some repetition on my side, but definitely not on hers, because she's gonna teach me about dating in the USA.
A whole different continent than England and Germany.
Indeed, and she lived in Germany for quite a bit now as well, so she knows what it's like here in comparison to the US. So we're gonna talk about that. Hopefully you guys find it interesting and let us know your experiences, of course, as well, and like the video if you enjoy it. Anyway, let's get started. What is dating like in the US, first of all?
So, it's much more clear than in Germany, because you talk more about like, okay, are you my girlfriend? Whereas I've noticed in Germany, you don't really have that ask. In fact, you don't even have like a separate word really for a girlfriend. You kind of just say my friend instead of, yeah? Yeah, like my female friend, you mean, or what? Or... Yeah. In Germany, there's actually not a real word for girlfriend or boyfriend. Instead of saying ein Freundin von mir, that'd be a friend of mine, and that just means a regular friend. Yeah. Whereas meine Freundin is my girlfriend. Yeah. So Freundin is used in both contexts. True. I mean, you could say mein fester Freund, meine feste Freundin. Do people say that? Not, I mean, sometimes, very rarely, I would say. It's a little bit old-fashioned, maybe even. Or not old-fashioned, more so like that we don't really use it. Mein Freund, if a girl says, oh, das ist mein Freund, then that's my boyfriend, that means. Or das ist ein Freund von mir, that is like, oh, it's just a buddy of mine, basically. But if it's her friend, then it's her boyfriend. But if it's a friend of hers, then it's just a normal friend. Okay. It can be a bit confusing, I suppose. I mean, especially if
even
you're like
us.
trying to do the scanning of like, okay, who's single? You gotta like do your analysis beforehand.
Yeah.
Confuses things.
I bet it does. So what else is different? The names are different?
Yes, the names are different. Do you guys have like the different stages, like talking, then dating, then girlfriend, boyfriend? Yeah, definitely. But you said before that you think in Germany it's way more clear when you reach a certain point? No? Unclear. Unclear, okay. It's kind of like natural progression. You just have to kind of know it. Like, I am totally not good at those things. How do I know if we've reached that stage? Well, I mean, I guess you would just know if one of the people makes like advances or something like that. Or what do you mean, like from like talking to dating? Yeah, like how do you know when to stop seeing other people? I guess that's something you would talk about in Germany as well. Is this exclusive or something like that? Do we see other people or not? I think that's just something you have to talk about. And especially like when it gets to the stage where you're boyfriend, girlfriend, I think we talk about that eventually as well. I would, at least. Like say, hey, so what's the deal? Are we together now? Is this a relationship? Are we exclusive? I think you need to talk about that, like really make it clear, because otherwise people just get hurt. See, I've been told from other German people that it's definitely, they don't really like to do it. They just kind of start dropping the girlfriend word or boyfriend word occasionally. Well, it might be different for different people, obviously. That's fair. But I personally would do it that way. But maybe we have German viewers out there that, well, do it differently. Let us know in the comments below. And then, yeah, we were mentioning before that friends aren't really that as common in the US as it is in Germany between genders. Yeah. So it's a lot more clear, I feel like, when a guy asks a girl out. Whereas here it's definitely more confusing because in America we like to play games. What, is that a castle? Or what is that? No, it's just a house. Oh, it's gorgeous. Car talks. We're in Germany. No, that was a special house. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I wouldn't say we played games in America, but I guess to anyone. But you do. Yeah, okay, yeah. Like, you don't tell exactly what's on your mind, you know? You gotta play around with it. In the same way, if you're declining something, you can't just say, no, I don't want to. You gotta, like, make an excuse or like act like you don't really know what's going on. Like you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe later, and like push it off for a while.
Okay.
Whereas, I don't know, Germans, I think that's a very big stereotype. They say their feelings.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're direct.
I guess. Personal preference again. People are more shy, obviously, than others as well. Like I personally, I'm not sure if I am super direct with that kind of stuff when saying something like that, because it's another difference here in Germany. For example, when you say, I mean that's much later in the relationship, obviously, but when you say "I love you" to your partner, that like in Germany we wait a long time, while in the US, I'm not sure what it's like there, to be honest.
I think the shortest I waited was 4 days.
4 days. I mean, then again, the "I love you" is like similar to how they use it in the UK. I just noticed it's way more thrown around. What?
That was early.
Early, okay.
Yeah, I think like the usual is like 2 months or so, maybe 3 months.
Okay.
But after that, then it's kind of like, come on, you love me, right?
I think it just depends if you do or not, like in Germany, like. Because if you don't, well then you don't say it. It's just rude, I think, at least to play with someone else's feelings like that. I don't know, I wouldn't do it. I did when I was young, right? Because I was scared that, oh, if I don't say it, you know, then, or should I say it? I didn't even know.
Or you never know what it felt like, so you're like, oh, this must be love.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't know what it feels like really, and if you're supposed to say it or not, you don't have the experience really. And then one time, I think I said it really early, and the girl was just like, oh, like that, right? Oh, that's so that's so nice, or something like along those lines, right? I was pretty young.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really love her, to be fair. I just said it because I thought it was that time. Apparently, it wasn't. But yeah,
at least she knew it wasn't time.
Yeah, I mean, she was more experienced for sure, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was just a lack of experience. It didn't really hurt me either because I didn't mean it. Which seems mean now in retrospect. But
how old are you?
What?
How old are you?
I think 20 or 19 or something.
Oh, like that. I was thinking you were like 12.
What? No, I didn't date until I was like 15, 16 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So, no, different times for sure. Like I have more experience now. I wouldn't do that anymore. Obviously, if I don't feel anything for anyone, why would you say that you do? It's just messed up. But yeah.
The first time I said I love you was to a boy. I was 12 years old, and I was first filing, or first chair, he was second chair, so we sat next to each other, didn't speak a word to him all year long, and then on the last, like I was so nervous around him, he probably didn't even know my name, and then at the end I was like, love you.
What did he say?
He didn't really like know what to react, he was like, okay. So yeah.
How old were you? You said
12.
12. Well, that's, I mean, very young. To be fair, I
forgot about that until I read a diary entry I wrote a while ago.
I wrote love letters and stuff like that when I was that young as well. I had like a elementary school crush, but she loved someone else. Yeah, young love, unrequited young love. But yeah, I mean, I don't see that as real things anymore these days, because it was just, you know, you were a kid, you didn't have any experience whatsoever. Maybe it was more innocent. I don't know. Maybe it was real, but just different.
Unhurt love.
Unhurt love. Yeah, I mean, until it was. Ripped out of my chest. But a long time ago. That doesn't matter anymore these days. But yeah, what else is there? What is dating like in the US?
Well, I've noticed that we have a much more prudish culture. We are a lot more scared of like, ooh, sex, bad. So it's definitely looked down upon for couples to live together, at least in comparison to Germany. Would you say it's, how normal is it for a couple to live together that's not married?
Very normal,
yeah.
I'd say. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I've lived together with my girlfriends before, so yeah, no, it's normal. Nothing bad behind it.
See, it's kind of like still supposed to be a secret, like, oh yeah, we've never done it. So, yeah, that's a huge difference again. And then the friends, I mean, it's just more of an like realistic culture, I feel like, in Germany, whereas we have a lot more pretend stuff and things that we're hiding, like with the dating. You have to play those games and be like, yeah, don't really show your true feelings. So,
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. We're young. We're only 200 years old.
That's why. Well, yeah, Germany is definitely not prudish. I mean, we even have commercials for sex toys that run in the afternoon and stuff like that. Are you
serious?
Yeah. Like dildos and vibrators and stuff like that. They're on TV. And I find that a bit weird as well, because I grew up at a time where that would have not been possible at all. Mm-hmm. But nowadays it's just even more relaxed, I think, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And we have TV commercials like starting at midnight, I think, that have like at least show boobs and stuff like that.
In the commercials?
No, it's a certain commercials just for sex hotlines and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like we can't even have like open boobies on the magazine cover. Yeah,
no, we do have that, and
you can find it like right next to shopping for clothes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, in Germany.
In Germany, yeah. I don't even know where to buy a Playboy or whatever in America.
So definitely not prudish here.
Yes. And I heard that it's not even like looked that down upon here. It's more considered like art. Because it's pretty, at least in Germany.
Depends on what.
Fair. Like Playboy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. Nazi photography. Like tasteful nudity, I suppose. Yeah.
Prostitution is legal.
True.
And that has to do kind of with the whole sex openness culture.
Yeah, it's like even like a real job here that is protected, I think, by health insurance and stuff like that as well. Because
that's
makes...
great.
Yeah, I know. It's better for the workers because they would do it anyway, but now it's safer.
Yeah.
And I think it also counters, like, I think I saw a statistic once, and we talked about this before, that it counters sexual crimes as well, because people, like those men that maybe would commit crimes like that because they can't really get with a woman in a normal way. Angst, yeah, or whatever they would maybe do.
Repression,
yeah,
something.
Yeah, they don't do that as much because, you know, they have an outlet, I suppose. It sounds bad, but yeah.
And I also heard that, or I read online, the statistic is that you have 1/6 of the rate for HIV than we do in the US.
Really?
Even though you have a higher rate of one-night stands. So yeah, actually that was another thing. One-night stands, are those more common, would you say, in Germany?
I wouldn't know. I have not really done that before. I mean, I have dated like really short term, but not like that.
Not like a one night.
No, then never again. Like never seen her again. No, I haven't done that before. It's not really like I don't find that very appealing, to be honest. Because for me, I mean, I've talked about this in the other dating video before as well. When there's no feelings involved, then for me it doesn't really do much if I have sex with a person or not. I mean, it's still sex, but it's like it won't be amazing. Yeah, it won't be amazing. Like even like it doesn't feel amazing then for me, because for me it's a lot of with chemistry and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I don't tend to do one-night stands or anything like that, because I've just noticed that, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is something that when I was reading about the differences, it's different because openness and everything, that those are more common, but the rates are lower because you also have better discussions about it with your family and parents when you're younger.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really talk about that kind of stuff with my family very often because it was kind of an awkward topic, obviously, so we didn't, and my parents didn't want to either, I don't think. It didn't feel like it, at least. But yeah, we weren't that into talking about that kind of stuff. Like I didn't talk about my dates with any of my family members or anything either, so yeah, nah.
What was the sex education like in the in the schools?
The university.
Sorry, not the university.
That's when we do it. I don't remember, to be honest. I really don't. It must have been very early on if I had it. Maybe I didn't even have it.
I think it's required, or at least now I know it's required in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look that up because I don't really know if it was required at the time. But yeah.
I know it's not required in like most of the U.S., depending on the state.
Yeah.
Like I did not learn anything from a book.
Really?
Nope. I was mentioning last night that though I found out about Sex is from when I was like 14 or 15, because I watched a horror movie. It's a terrifying way to first impression of sex. Horror movies.
Yeah, that horror movie, I remember now.
Bad connotations now.
Yeah, very bad.
A ghost will appear. Chivalry, and how does that play in? Is it still common? Is it still the same as it used to be? How has it changed over the past few years? Let's find out.
Well, I mean, it's still nice, I think, for girls if men hold open the door and stuff. I mean, obviously, now with feminism and everything, maybe some women wouldn't want that and feel it makes them less of an equal. But I feel like it's still a nice thing to do either way. I mean, to be honest, I think I just heard about that in the US, some feminists are so extreme that they would take that as an offense or something like that if they were to experience that.
Well, as someone who is both a feminist and who has had this experience, it can get very annoying if the person you're dating, like, will not let you open the doors, and it makes it like a very masculine, like yeah, if you open a door, I mean, it's nice either way, if a girl opens it for the guy or a guy opens it for the girl. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's definitely very old-fashioned to expect the guy opens the door or the guy always pays.
Well, that's nice, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's still nice if someone did that. It's just not expected anymore, I don't think. That's what it feels like to me here in Germany. And with dating in general, well, it really depends from person to person. I guess some people would expect the other person to pay, others won't. It's very different, like.
Yeah, I've noticed in Germany you can either say zusammen or getrennt very easily here. They usually ask that. Yeah, together or separate. Yeah, whereas in the US would be really weird if we paid separately. Really? Yeah. Like, even for friends, I feel awkward when we pay separately. Like, I will usually like, say, okay, I'll get this one, or the person, like, I'll get this one. Yeah. So in Germany, it's accepted to be on a date and pay separately? Or not really? I mean, I feel awkward doing that, to be quite honest. I usually either, really depends. Like, a friend of mine actually told me a funny story about that. If the girl reaches for her wallet, if he sees that, if she's willing to pay or to split at least, then he often just pays everything. But if he notices that she's just taking a sweet time, like expecting him to pay everything, then he makes her pay her share, because he can't be bothered with that. And I think that's that's a good approach. I should probably do it the same way, but I feel awkward so much sometimes, I guess, that I mean, I did also share before, but I don't know. I just sometimes feel like I should. Maybe that's just conditioning. Maybe it shouldn't be that way. It definitely shouldn't be that way, I think. But you're just still conditioned, in my generation at least, that it's kind of expected, at least. No, I mean, it's still expected that one of the people paid the date. It's just, I think, that's actually something I think America's a little quicker on, is sometimes the girl, sometimes the guy pays. Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm in a relationship, then it's always 50-50, right? Yes. You always share, or you take turns in paying for stuff. It's like not an exact science, I don't think. Like, no one, I mean, some couples would probably say, oh, but I paid this and that much, if it's an all German couple, right? And like, you owe me this much, basically, right? But I think mostly it's just vague. I paid last time, now you pay, or something. That's how it's mostly handled, I'd say. But I don't think I've ever kept count of when I've been in a relationship. I think I've usually always paid more. Except for one time when I got really screwed over, then I like counted up how much more I paid, and I was like, okay, you owe me this much money. Oh, okay. How much did he screw you over with? Oh, like, I owed him, or like I said he owed me like $200 something, which he never paid, because I didn't really want to. I just wanted to spite him a little bit. How are relationships usually ended here? Do you stay friends with them? Rarely, I'd say. Oh, okay. I'm friends with one of my exes, and we rarely talk ever. My ex-girlfriend from Australia, Blue. But yeah, no, usually not. I mean, it also depends on how it ended. If it was a messy breakup,
or if it was a friendly breakup where you just grew apart and both of the parties agree that it's better to, you know, break it up and see other people. So that was a case for me and my Australian girlfriend. It was just a normal, well, I mean, no one wants to move to another country for the other person because it's, you know, it's a big step. So let's just not do this anymore. But in the end, it really depends, I'd say. What is it like in the US? Yeah,
definitely. It's super weird, I think, to be friends with your ex still. I mean, there is definitely people who do it. But again, going back to what I said earlier about, you don't usually have friends of the opposite gender as much. So someone that you used to, you know, have fun with. Or at least it's weird if you have a new person you're dating. Yeah, I think
that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't like that too much. I think if my ex, my girlfriend would be very close with her ex still while we were dating. Yeah, that's just awkward. I think my last girlfriend kind of hid that fact from me as well. Yeah, so I think that's not a good thing to do because, you know, it will come out.
That's bad no matter what country you're in.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, yeah, no, usually I would agree with you that it's not really that common to be friends with your ex, especially if you're dating someone new, because it's always awkward for the other person, no matter like how like not together they are anymore, you know?
Yeah. How long does it usually take for someone to move in together?
That also really depends. I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, for example, just because out of necessity, me and my girlfriend from Australia, we moved in together pretty much very shortly after we got together. Just because I offered, like, here, you can stay at my place, right? You don't need to be paying lots of money for whatever here in Germany. It doesn't make any sense, right? So we just moved in.
Did she move officially to Germany, or was she just there part-time?
Just for a while, and then I went to Australia for a year on my work and travel visa and stuff. Yeah, that was a very specific scenario though as well, where I had the possibility to do that with the visa for a year. Usually it's only 3 months that you can stay, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You did that for a travel visa, or?
In work and travel. I worked at a cafe while I was there.
Cool.
Yeah. It really depends on how fast you move together or in with someone, I think.
Okay. For the people that I know that do move in together, like, again, it's not as common, and I also grew up in a relatively Christian environment. Yeah. So, that's a no-no. I have friends that haven't even kissed until their wedding day.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, I have a lot of friends that haven't kissed. But for the people that are okay with moving in together, I would say between like 2 and 3 years.
2 and 3 years? I mean, yeah, to be honest, in a normal relationship, probably that would happen as well. But I haven't had a normal relationship quite a while, to be honest, with a German girl as well, where you would be together for years and then eventually move in, maybe, if you fit together well enough. So,
yeah, I guess long distance does change things.
Definitely, for sure.
Let me look at my list.
Yeah. I felt very chased by that car, but finally it's gone.
Police car?
The other car behind us, it's gone now.
Alright, I don't have great reception.
How soon after you start dating someone in America do people usually do sexy time?
Oh, sexy time. Well, again, Christian background, so I still feel like I have to ask my mom's permission before I can go on a date with someone. I don't, but like in my head, I'm like, I can't go on a date. Oh wait, I'll be at a bar and say a guy will be flirting with me. I just want to say, my mom says no.
My mom says no.
But I think the majority of people, depends what like how you met. Did you meet on Tinder, bar, or a friend?
Yeah, maybe go through the scenarios.
Yeah, so if you met on Tinder, maybe like the second date, I think is pretty typical.
Yeah.
Or unless you're very honest on Tinder, then the first date.
Yeah, sure.
If you met in like a bar, that's usually the first night, like because you're already in person and you're chatting and you're drinking. If you meet through a friend, I would say like I would take a month.
Yeah, similar. I mean, maybe, I don't know, depends. It really depends on the people again. It's really hard to tell. You can't really pinpoint, oh yeah, that's
and how often are you going on a date? Like, how, like, if you live like neighbors and you're like, can see them like every day and they're like, oh, another date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really depends. You can't pinpoint that necessarily. But maybe you guys in the comments there have a different opinion on that. That would be very interesting to know. I think we need to stop this video soon because it's getting dark. So if we forgot about any points that you would like to know about, we can answer that in the comments. So definitely make sure to ask your questions there. Or if you have answers for our questions. Exactly. Yeah, just tell us your experience. Would be very interesting to hear, obviously. Subscribe to both of our channels. Her channel is also linked in the video description. Like this video, share it with people who might be interested in this, right? Have a girl you're interested in? She's American? Find out more. Indeed, find out more. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.